पहला क्वेश्चन है नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट वॉज लॉन्च्ड इन विच ईयर 1917 1918 1920 1922 wrong answer 1922 who led the non cooperation movement जवाहरलाल नेहरू सुभाष चंद्र बोस बाल गंगाधर तिलक महात्मा गांधी wrong answer महात्मा गांधी The non-cooperation movement was launched at which Congress session? Surat, Lucknow, Nagpur. The non-cooperation movement was launched at which Congress session? Surat, Lucknow, Nagpur, Calcutta. Wrong answer. Nagpur. The movement was launched against which British action? The movement was launched against which British action? Simon Commission, Rowlatt Act, Vernacular Press Act, Pitt-Shinty Act. Wrong answer. Rowlatt Act. The non-cooperation movement was linked with protest against. The non-cooperation movement was linked with protest against Jallianwala Bagh, Khilafat issue, both A and B, none. Correct answer. The Khilafat issue was related to which country? The issue was related to which country? Iran, Turkey, Egypt. Wrong answer. Turkey. Who were the main leaders of the movement? Nehru brothers, Ali brothers, Bose brothers, Patel brothers. Wrong answer. Ali brothers. The main aim of non-cooperation movement was to demand separate electorates, end British rule peacefully, demand dominion status, support World War First. The main aim of non-cooperation movement was to demand separate electorates, end British rule peacefully, demand dominion status, support World War First. तुमने रिवीजन तुमने घर पे चैप्टर कोई फिनिश किया एक? यस सर। मैथ का? yes, कौन सा? सर 8। तुम्हारे कितने हुए? मेरा 8 हो चुका है। 9 दोनों लोग के हो गए। 9 क्यों? क्यों? करना है घर से कर लेंगे। Which of the following was not part of non-cooperation? Boycott the foreign clothes, boycott the law courts, participation in elections, boycott of government schools. Boycott of government schools. टोटल चैप्टर कितने हैं तुम्हारे इसमें? 10 हैं। इसी हफ्ते खत्म हो जाए संडे तक। हाँ समझ में आया? अगले वीक से जो है मंडे से तुम्हारा मैथ का टेस्ट होगा। अरे नहीं, उसमें एमसीक्यूज भी होंगे, उसमें सारे क्वेश्चन होंगे, लगवाएंगे यही बोर्ड पे, सही कर देंगे तुम्हें। वो तो बताएगा समय। The slogan Swaraj in 1 year was given by. The slogan Swaraj in 1 year was given by Tilak, Nehru, Bose, Mahatma Gandhi. Wrong answer. Mahatma Gandhi. The movement emphasized use of foreign clothes, khadi and charkha, British education, British courts. Khadi and charkha. Correct answer. Which title was surrendered by Gandhi during the movement? Which title was surrendered by Gandhi during the movement? Sir, Kesare Hind Medal, Bharat Ratna. Kesare Hind Medal. Lawyers who gave up practice included. Lawyers who gave up practice included Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, Rajendra Prasad, all of above. Correct answer. Which educational institutions were promoted as alternatives? Which educational institutions were promoted as alternatives? Aligarh Muslim University, Banaras Hindu University, National School and College, Oxford University. Which educational institutions were promoted as alternatives? Which educational institutions were promoted as alternatives? Aligarh Muslim University, Banaras Hindu University, National School and College, Oxford University. Oxford University. Wrong answer. National School and College. The non-cooperation movement was mainly based on violence, armed struggle, non-violence, revolution. Revolution. Wrong answer. Non-violence. The movement was withdrawn after which incident? The movement was withdrawn after which incident? Jallianwala Bagh, Chauri Chaura, Dandi March, Kakuri case. Chauri Chaura. Correct answer. Chauri Chaura incident took place in Punjab, Bihar, Bengal, Uttar Pradesh. Punjab. Wrong answer. Uttar Pradesh. The Chauri Chaura incident occurred in which year? The Chauri Chaura incident occurred in which year? 1920, 1921, 1922, 1923. 1922. 1922. What happened at Chauri Chaura? 1922. Correct answer. What happened at Chauri Chaura? Protesters were fired upon. Police stations was burned. British officers resigned. Congress split. Congress split. Wrong answer. Police station was burned. Gandhiji believed violence would. Gandhiji believed violence would strengthen. Violence would strengthen movement, harm the cause of freedom, and harm the cause of freedom, speed up evidence, speed up independence, be ignored. Be independence. Wrong answer. Harm the cause of freedom. Which social class actively participate in the movement? Which social class actively participate in the movement? Peasants, students, workers, all of the above. All of the above. Correct answer. Foreign goods boycott led to growth of. Foreign goods boycott led to growth of British industrialist, Indian industrialist, heavy industries, mining sector. Heavy industries. Wrong answer. The non-cooperation movement marked entry of which group into politics? The non-cooperation movement marked entry of which group into politics? Princess, masses, British officials, industrialist only. British. Wrong answer. Masses. Which language was promoted for national unity? Hindi, Urdu, Persian, English, Sanskrit. Hindi. Correct answer. Congress membership fee was reduced to. Congress membership fee was reduced to 10 rupees, 5 rupees, 1 rupees, 4 annas. 4 annas. Correct answer. Which British viceroy was in power during the movement? Which British viceroy was in power during the movement? Lord Curzon, Lord Ripon, Lord Reading, Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten. Wrong answer. Lord Reading. The movement strengthened which industry? Tea, coal, khadi, steel. Coal, khadi, steel. Wrong answer. Khadi. Which woman leader participated actively? Which woman leader participated actively? Sarojini Naidu, Kasturba Gandhi, Annie Besant, all of the above. All of the above. Correct answer. The movement spread mainly in urban areas only, rural areas only. Sir, question only. The movement spread mainly in urban areas only, rural areas only, both rural and urban areas, tribal areas only. Both rural. Correct answer. The Congress adopted non-cooperation as official policy. The Congress adopted non-cooperation as official policy in Bombay session, Nagpur session, Lahore session, Karachi session. Karachi session. Wrong answer. Nagpur session. The non-cooperation movement was the first mass movement led by. The non-cooperation movement was the first mass movement led by Tilak, Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, Bose. Tilak. Wrong answer. Mahatma Gandhi. Which tax was refused by peasants during the movement? Which tax was refused by peasants during the movement? Salt tax, income tax, land revenue, custom duty. Custom duty. Wrong answer. Land revenue. Which of the following leaders opposed withdrawal of the movement? Which of the following leader opposed withdrawal of the movement? Gandhi, C.R. Das, Patel, Rajendra Prasad. Gandhi. Wrong answer. C.R. Das. After withdrawal, many leaders were promoted, released, arrested, appointed ministers. After withdrawal, many leaders were promoted, released, arrested, appointed ministers. Appointed ministers. Wrong answer. Arrested. The movement showed that freedom struggle could be. The movement showed that freedom struggle could be elite based, mass based, army based, foreign based. Foreign based. Wrong answer. Mass based. Which symbol became popular during the movement? Which symbol became popular during the movement? Tricolor flag, charkha, lion capital, Ashoka wheel. Which symbol became popular during the movement? Tricolor flag, charkha, lion capital, Ashoka wheel. Charkha. Correct answer. The non-cooperation movement encouraged British education, English language, national language, foreign culture. Foreign culture. Wrong answer. National education. The movement weakened British rule by armed revolt, boycott and non-cooperation, foreign invasion, court cases. The movement weakened British rule ar- by armed revolt, boycott and non-cooperation, foreign invasion, court cases. Wrong answer. Boycott and non-cooperation. Which section resigned from government services? Which section resigned from government services? Police only, army only, teachers only, many government employees. Which section resigned from government services? Police only, army only, teachers only, many government employees. Many government employees. Correct answer. The movement promoted unity between Hindu and Sikh, Muslim and Christians, Hindu and Muslims, British and Indians. Hindu and Muslims. Correct answer. Which newspaper supported the movement? Times of India, Young India, The Hindu Only, Statesman. Which newspaper supported the movement? Times of India, Young India, The Hindu Only, Statesman. Young India. Correct answer. Gandhi's political philosophy during the movement was based on. Gandhi's political philosophy during the movement was based on socialism, capitalism, satyagraha, imperialism. Satyagraha. Correct. The movement failed mainly because of lack of funds, British repression, violence at Chauri Chaura, and internal disputes. Internal disputes. Wrong answer. Violence at Chauri Chaura. The non-cooperation movement inspired later movements like civil disobedience, quit India, both A and B, none. Both A and B. Correct answer. Which organization led the movement? Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, Indian National Congress, Gadar Party. Which organization led the movement? Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, Indian National Congress, Gadar Party. Hindu Mahasabha. Wrong answer. Indian National Congress. Students left government schools to join British college, national institutions, army, police. Students left government schools to join British college, national institutions, army, police. British college. Wrong answer. National institution. The movement reduced British authority by using arms, refusing cooperation, foreign support, military coup. Military coup. Wrong answer. Refusing cooperation. The non-cooperation movement marked beginning of extremist phase, revolutionary phase, Gandhian era, socialist phase. Socialist. Wrong answer. Gandhian era. The movement provided that British rule depended on. The movement proved that British rule depended on army strength, Indian cooperation, world support, economic power only. Economic. Wrong answer. Indian cooperation. The ultimate objective of non-cooperation movement was the ultimate objective of non-cooperation movement was dominion status, administrative reforms, Swaraj, and provincial autonomy. Provincial autonomy. Wrong answer. Swaraj. Which Congress committee first approved the non-cooperation movement? Which Congress committee first approved the non-cooperation movement? AICC, Congress Working Committee, Provincial Congress, Youth Congress. Provincial Congress. Wrong answer. Congress Working Committee. The movement was formally ratified at which session of Congress? The movement was formally. इनके देखो जरा कितने सही हैं. तुमसे ढंग से सुना नहीं जा रहा. क्वेश्चन क्या है? इनके सर 44 सही है. कितने में? सर 161 में. The movement was formally ratified at which session of Congress? Calcutta session, Nagpur session, Lahore session, Karachi session. Calcutta session. Wrong answer. Nagpur session. Which British title holders were asked to surrender their titles? Which British title holders were asked to surrender their titles? Only princes, only jamidars, all Indians holding British titles, only lawyers. All Indian. Correct answer. Which movement ran parallel to the non-cooperation movement? Which movement ran parallel to the non-cooperation movement? Which movement ran parallel to the non-cooperation movement? Home Rule movement, Civil Disobedience movement, Khilafat movement, Quit India movement. Khilafat movement. Correct answer. Which class of people gave up government jobs in large number? Which class of people gave up government jobs in large number? Industrialists, farmers, middle class, Indians, British officials. British. Wrong answer. Middle class Indians. The boycott of foreign cloth led to public. The boycott of foreign cloth led to public bonfires of Indian cotton, foreign cloths, khadi, silk. Indian cloth. Wrong answer. Foreign cloths. Which Indian leader became famous as Desh Bandhu during this period? Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, Lala Lajpat Rai, Jawaharlal Nehru. Wrong answer. C.R. Das. The non-cooperation movement aimed at ending British rule through. The non-cooperation movement aimed at ending British rule through constitutional method, armed rebellion, peaceful non-cooperation, foreign intervention. Wrong answer. Peaceful non-cooperation. Which British law symbolized repression? Which British law symbolized to the movement? Government of India Act 1919, Rowlatt Act 1919, Indian Council Act, Charter Act. Wrong answer. Rowlatt Act. The movement encouraged Indians to boycott only British courts, only British schools, all British institutions, only British goods. Wrong answer. All British institutions. The non-cooperation movement was strongest in which regions? Punjab and Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, Assam and Manipur, Kashmir and Ladakh. Wrong answer. Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The movement helped Congress transform into a elite party, mass organization, revolutionary party, socialist party. Wrong answer. Mass organization. Which symbol became the emblem of economic self-reliance? Which symbol became the emblem of economic self-reliance? Plow, charkha, sword, lotus. Correct answer. Which community participation? Which community participation increased significantly during the movement? Tribal only, urban elite only, women and peasants, British settlers. Correct answer. The movement demanded boycott of elections under. The movement demanded boycott of elections under 1909 Act, 1919 Government of India Act, 1935 Act, 1958 Act. Wrong answer. 1919 Government of India Act. The non-cooperation movement was suspended in. The non-cooperation movement was suspended in 1921, 1922, 1923, 1924. 1922. Wrong answer. The incident responsible for withdrawal occurred in. The incident responsible for withdrawal occurred in Gorakhpur, Chauri Chaura, Faizabad, Allahabad. Wrong answer. Chauri Chaura. How many policemen were killed in the Chauri Chaura incident? 5, 12, 22, 50. 12. Wrong answer. 22. Who took the responsibility of withdrawing the movement? Who took the responsibility of withdrawing the movement? Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose. Correct answer. Many Congress leaders opposed withdrawal because it was too early, too late, at its peak already failed. Wrong answer. At its peak. After withdrawal, some leaders formed which party? After withdrawal, some leaders formed which party? Swaraj Party, Communist Party, Forward Bloc, Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party. Correct answer. Swaraj Party was formed in 1920, 1921, 1923, 1925. 1925. Wrong answer. 1923. Who was the founder of the Swaraj Party? Gandhi and Nehru, Patel and Bose, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru, Tilak and Gokhale. Tilak and Gokhale. Wrong answer. C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. The non-cooperation movement promoted the idea of British supremacy, self-resilience, industrial capitalism, military power. Wrong answer. Self-resilience. Which profession was most affected by the boycott of courts? Which profession was most affected by the boycott of courts? Doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers. Teachers. Wrong answer. Lawyers. National schools emphasized teaching in. National schools emphasized teaching in English only, Persian, Indian language, French. Indian language. Correct answer. Which social reform was indirectly supported by the movement? Which social reforms was indirectly supported by the movement? Untouchability removal, promotion of khadi, Hindu Muslim unity, all of the above. All of the above. Correct answer. कितने हो गए इनके? 188. The movement reduced British control mainly by army revolt, administrative non-cooperation, foreign pressure, court verdict. Court verdict. Wrong answer. Administrative non-cooperation. The movement created public awareness among only elites, only students, only peasants, common masses. Common masses. Correct answer. Which Indian industry benefited the most? Iron and steel, tea, handloom industry, mining. Tea. Wrong answer. Handloom industry. The non-cooperation movement is considered a turning point because it used violence, it involved masses on large scale, it failed completely, it ended British rule. Wrong answer. It involved masses on large scale. The movement highlighted the power of British Army, British laws, non-violence resistance, foreign allies. Wrong answer. Non-violent resistance. Which group actively participated by leaving schools and colleges? Which group actively participated by leaving school and college? Workers, peasants, students, soldiers. Wrong answer. Students. The movement strengthened national unity by promoting uh, regionalism, provincialism, common national identity, separatism. Wrong answer. Common national identity. Which factor limited the success of the movement? Lack of leaders, sudden withdrawal, British support, foreign opposition. Wrong answer. Sudden withdrawal. The movement proved that British rule survived due to army strength, economic power, Indian cooperation, foreign help. Wrong answer. Indian cooperation. Which Congress session accepted Gandhi's leadership fully? Surat session, Nagpur session, Lahore session, Karachi session. Wrong answer. Nagpur session. The movement encouraged Indians to adopt Western culture, British lifestyle, simple living, luxury goods. Wrong answer. Simple living. Non-cooperation movement ended but left behind. Non-cooperation movement ended but left behind fear, confusion, political awakening, disunity. Wrong answer. Political awakening. हो गए 54 कितने 54 सही तुम थोड़ा ध्यान से सुना करो थोड़ा काम करो मतलब थप्पड़ मारे तुम्हारा दिमाग सही हो जाएगा बोलती बहुत हो 200 में